Today's podcast is going to be a little different. Instead of a normal summary, we are going to answer some of the most common questions students ask about the poem The English Are So Nice by D.H Lawrence. If you are preparing for a test or exam, this episode will really help you understand. So let's get started. Question 1. What is the main theme of the poem? The main themes of the poem are hypocrisy, class prejudice, and appearance versus reality. Lawrence criticizes English society because people appear polite and respectful on the outside, but underneath they are often judgmental and cruel. The poem shows that manners and politeness do not always mean kindness. Lawrence believes many people hide their true feelings behind polite behavior. This is why hypocrisy is such an important theme in the poem. Question 2. Why is the title ironic? The title The English Are So Nice is ironic. Irony happens when the opposite of what is said is actually true. At first, the title sounds positive. It sounds like Lawrence is praising the English. But when we read the poem, we realize he is actually criticizing them. He uses sarcasm to mock the fake politeness and prejudice he sees in society. So the title is not a compliment. It is criticism hidden behind polite words. Question 3. What tone does the poem have? The tone of the poem is sarcastic, critical, satirical, and mocking. Lawrence sounds frustrated and disappointed with society. Instead of directly attacking people angrily, he uses sarcasm and humor. This makes the criticism even stronger. The poem may sound calm on the surface, but underneath there is clear anger and criticism. Question 4. What does the phrase "of course" mean in the poem? The repetition of the phrase "of course" is very important. Lawrence repeats this phrase to show how prejudice and judgment are treated as normal in society. The phrase sounds casual and polite, but because it is repeated so often, it becomes sarcastic. It creates the feeling that people accept unfair behavior without questioning it. This repetition helps emphasize Lawrence's criticism of society. Question 5. How does Lawrence criticize English society? Lawrence criticizes English society by exposing the contrast between appearance and reality. People appear friendly, polite, sophisticated, but underneath, Lawrence believes they are cold, prejudiced, and emotionally dishonest. He especially criticizes the upper classes for pretending to be morally superior while still judging and mistreating others. The poem, therefore, becomes a social criticism of hypocrisy and class division. Question 6. What literary devices are used in the poem? There are several important literary devices in the poem. Irony. The title itself is ironic because Lawrence says one thing but means the opposite. Sarcasm. Lawrence mocks society through sarcastic comments and exaggerated politeness. Repetition. The repeated phrase, "of course," emphasizes how normal prejudice has become. Contrast. The poem contrasts politeness with cruelty and appearance with reality. These literary devices help strengthen the poem's message. Question 7. What is the message of the poem? The message of the poem is that people should not be judged by appearances alone. Lawrence warns readers that politeness without kindness is meaningless. A society can appear civilized on the outside while still being unfair and prejudiced underneath. The poem encourages readers to think critically about human behavior and social values. Question 8. Why is this poem still relevant today? This poem is still relevant because many societies today still struggle with prejudice, social judgment, fake behaviour, and discrimination. Even now, people sometimes hide negative attitudes behind polite words or social manners. Lawrence's criticism, therefore, still connects to the modern world. To conclude, The English Are So Nice is much more than a poem about politeness. It is a sharp criticism of hypocrisy and social prejudice. Through irony, sarcasm, repetition, and contrast, D.H. Lawrence exposes the difference between how people appear and who they truly are. For exams, remember these key ideas: hypocrisy, class prejudice, appearance versus reality, irony, sarcasm, and repetition. Thank you for listening. If this podcast helped you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your classmates, and I'll see you in the next lesson.